everybody, and welcome to CFC Fan TV. I'm joined by Charlie, the wonderful Hurricane Skillen. How are you, Charles?
I'm very well, Soph. How are you?
Good, I'm good, thank you.
New hair again.
New hair again.
Like
I'm not going to lie, the blonde wasn't working for me, and you all seem to hammer me in the comments, so thank you very much for that.
Let us know what you think of this one. We'll do like a weekly poll and maybe she'll change it again.
Yes, please, and try and be a little bit nicer. But I think it's good to know they're all looking at me rather than actually, watching the video itself, which is great. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'm a brunette, always been a brunette, and
me too.
Yes, you're more of a mousy blondie brown. Yeah. Anyway, so this is fans Q&A. It's one of mine and Charlie's favourite segments, and you lot all seem to love it, so it's back. Should we get going?
Yeah. If anyone wondering why Rory's not on the videos this week, by the way, he's in Dubai.
Yes, he's on his honeymoon.
Lovely wife Victoria. Congratulations.
Congratulations to them. Yeah, so you're just left with us, but I'm sure you lot don't mind.
Best to anyway.
Okay, should we get going?
Go for it.
Right, so CFC Bants Dan says Sanchez with some eye heart emojis. Is it going to happen?
Sorry, Dan, I don't think so. Obviously, it's just
not?
No, I don't. I'd love it to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, the prospect of Sanchez and Hazard on the wing, on either wing is frightening. The fact that it would send Arsenal fans into absolute meltdown is a massive plus point as well. But I just can't see it. Arsenal, he's clearly open to leaving Arsenal. We know that. I just think Arsenal will do everything in their power to not sell to a Premier League rival, especially one as big as Chelsea.
He said he wants to stay in London, but he wants to play for a winning team. Ooh,
I know.
That's a bit ouch, isn't it?
I know. People took those quotes, put two and two together and made about 556. But
you see all the Arsenal fans in the crowd fighting. It was a terrible, poor fight, I have to say.
It was rubbish. It's exactly how you expect Arsenal fans to fight.
Yeah, it wasn't the best fight I've ever seen, but
But no, I just can't. I mean, look, I think Sanchez would be open to it, and Chelsea would love to make it happen. I just think Arsenal, it would take so much to get that deal done. I think privately Chelsea as well. Obviously, this is a story we've been exploring about. Privately, Chelsea would love to have him, but acknowledge there's just too much politics to actually make it happen. So I think if Sanchez leaves, it will be abroad.
Yeah. Okay then. Next question. Ryan says, "Oh, this is a good one. I like this. Hazard or Zola?" I'll let you go first.
Oh, I don't like that question. That's not very nice, is it? For what he did for the club, I'm gonna say Zola, just because he was
correct.
He was one of my heroes growing up. Definitely one of my biggest heroes. And for what he did for the club, and he was part of that kind of foreign invasion. He came a little bit later than the others. He came sort of very late 1996, almost 20 and a half years ago. Do you know how old that makes me feel?
Yeah. I was a baby, if alive. I definitely go with Zola as well.
But I do think that Hazard, with Hazard, you're talking about one of the top 5 players in the world, I'd say, and Zola wasn't ever that. That's just a fact.
It's quite hard to compare.
They're different.
Old football to modern day football now, isn't it?
They're different footballers. They're very different players. Hazard's game is built on pace and getting kicks all the time and making things happen. Now, nothing what Zola could also do. Zola's probably one of the most technically gifted footballers ever to play for Chelsea, and Hazard is in that bracket as well. Hazard could in time overtake him. Let's face it, he's already done something that Zola hasn't done, which is win the Premier League with Chelsea. I just think for what he represented for the club, and it was a different club at that time, I'm going to go with Zola, just because I'm biased. Well,
that's two of us going with Zola there, so it's a full house. Next question then. Right, and this is actually a good point to touch on, because I sort of was one of these fans. Do you think some of the fans are getting a little bit ahead of themselves, thinking we'll win the league so early? And that is from Alex CFC05.
Yeah, I got dug out massive this.
I did as well. You should have seen my vlog. And at the start I was like, I expect nothing less than 3 points. We've already won the league. And I have to say, you lot are right to criticise me. That was absolutely terrible. I shouldn't have thought that. But I think because we've been on such a good run, how we've been playing, we've played the best football all season.
Yeah.
We've been miles ahead of everybody all season. I honestly just thought it was done and dusted, more or less. And I was speaking to Dan, and he was, "I've got another 9 games left," and looked at our fixtures, looked at Tottenham's fixtures, and we have got a hard running.
We have got a hard running. I got criticised for this throughout the season. I remember me and you outside St Mary's, Southampton away, and I said, "Sophie, we're going to win the league," and you were like, "What are you talking about?" And then after Arsenal at home, I said, like, "I've definitely done now," and people said I was an idiot, and how right they were, because now.
Well,
but no, look, I still think Chelsea will win the league, but it's what it's done. What the loss against Palace has done is make Man City a must-win. Tottenham have a lot easier games than Chelsea do. We've got, Man City, Bournemouth away, which is kind of tough, but then, we've got Man United and Everton away left.
I think probably actually as well, maybe not, or maybe I may be wrong, but I would say maybe the players, I'm not saying they didn't put any effort, they obviously wanted to win the game, but I think it's maybe started to settle in some of their heads that maybe it is done dusted a little bit, which I just think we lacked concentration in that game. It's quite clear we lacked concentration.
I think if there's one thing Antonio Conte famously doesn't tolerate, it's complacency. So I don't think with the players it'll be a huge issue, but it's just...
It's kick up the ass though.
It is. That's exactly what it is. So.
And it has to be done, because any team that lets in 2 goals in 2 minutes...
You weren't happy with that, were you?
No, because it wasn't just that though, it was the way they were... The second one, the way it was conceded... That was sloppy, yeah. Right, okay, so to answer your questions,
I think we were. We'll still win it.
We'll still win it, but yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah, next question now. Okay, so David Rowe says, and we sort of touched on this already, do you feel the game versus Man City is a must-win now because of the loss at the weekend?
Absolutely.
And also comparing the remaining games to Spurs?
Yes, absolutely. Well, look, like I said, that is the one thing this Palace result has done. Before, if we beat Palace like everyone expected us to, then you can get away. If you look at the rest of the season, you can get away with a draw against Manchester City, and that's kind of our hardest game left. It's the one you can drop points in. Now, the only way to reverse this situation is to go and beat Man City.
Because if we lose this game, we're only 4 points clear, and that is a massive blow.
It's a huge blow. Well, let's hope Swansea do us a favour and all against Tottenham.
Oh God, I need them to go down as well. I can't take another trip over there. Anyway, okay then. So Andy Hall says, does Nathan Ake have a future at Chelsea?
I'd like him to, because I really
I rate him actually.
I think he's a really good player. I'm not so sure that he does actually, just because I'm a little bit disappointed with his lack of game time, because he was doing really, really well down at Bournemouth. He had a tough start, but he really settled in the team, was one of their best performing players. And then we were obviously so eager to get him back, and I don't think that was Conte, I think that was more the club, because we had to get people back, because obviously we sold Ivanovic and stuff like that. And then, people sort of roll their eyes about how Ivanovic was playing, but when you're selling players with the experience of Ivanovic, Oscar and Mikel, you just need the bodies. Almost, just in case, and we've been pretty fortunate, really. Imagine I suspect if Cahill suffered a big injury now, obviously, hopefully that doesn't happen. I expect Ake would be playing in that position, but Ake's also attracted a lot of interest from other clubs who want to buy him permanently.
I think he would. He's a decent player.
Yeah, and look, Bournemouth, for example, wants to pay about 18 million for him in January. That interest still holds, and it will still be valid in the summer. So at the minute, I don't think Ake will be at Chelsea next year, not because he's not a good player, but just because he's a bit down the pecking order and there's other teams that want him.
There we go. Future on Christensen. That's from Lex James.
Right, well, he's 100% coming back from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Yet again, and they've been doing this for the past 3 years, they've tried to buy him permanently. That's not going to happen. He is going to come back to Chelsea. People always ask me if he's going to be in the starting 11. Obviously, it's completely impossible to tell. But from his performances in the even in the Champions League for Borussia Mönchengladbach, there's actually no reason to suggest that he can't come in and play a very big role next season.
Excellent. Okay, and last question then, bit of a sad one. Antonio CFC says, has John Terry played his last ever game for Chelsea?
Oh God, I really hope not, and I don't think so. I mean,
to be fair though, we're not going to be able to play him in the last game if this goes down to the last day of the season.
God, don't say that.
Well, it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, all right. But look, hopefully we'll have it wrapped up by then, and I'd certainly hope not. And to be honest, there was even talk of him getting another 1-year deal, with obviously barely playing at all. He's barely played since he got injured at the start of the season, but. I don't think it's out of the question, but I'd certainly hope not.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's all we have time for this week. I hope I answered as many questions as you have. Yeah, comment below. Would you like Sanchez at Chelsea? Do you think it's possible? Do you think JT's played his last ever game for Chelsea? Let us know.
What colour hair is Sophie going to have next week?
What colour hair should I have next week? Trust me, it's going to be like this for a while. And then, yeah, that's it really. Comment your blues.
Can't you?